Praise be Jesus and Mary. Our series on Franciscan Spirituality. Today we're going to continue looking at man, more specifically at the understanding which God has given to us, which is one of the faculties, one of the powers of our soul, next to willing, our understanding and our willing. St. John at the beginning of his Gospel speaks of the Word as the true light who enlightens every man. John 1 verse 9. In our understanding, God enlightens our minds in a special way. As human beings, we are what we are because of our soul. All animals have bodies, but our rational soul is what distinguishes us from the animal world. Every being is specified by its form, and the soul is the form of the body, so it's what specifies us. It's what makes us actually unique. As we noted in our last reflection a couple of weeks ago, man is the conscious synthesis of the dynamism that links all of creation to the incarnation. If we look at man and how he operates and functions, we'll see that those faculties of understanding and will also express our yearning for God. The faculties of understanding and willing aren't something secondary or accidental to the soul. They come immediately from the substance of the soul. They're distinct from the soul, but as St. Bonaventure would say, they are consubstantial to it. We can't think of our soul and not think or talk about our understanding and our will, the power to will something. Since we are created by God and created for God, our human faculties tend towards the infinite. Opening oneself towards the transcendent realities, towards the infinite, is the work of our understanding. Extending oneself to grasp or embrace the infinite, that's the work of our will. So as Franciscans, we say that our thoughts are nothing more than our efforts to know God, and our willing is nothing more than our desire to unite ourselves to Him. In short, we are made to embrace the incarnation. So we'll speak now about our understanding specifically. Franciscan thinkers, particularly St. Bonaventure, tell us that knowledge for us isn't 100% our work, nor is it 100% God's work. Knowledge is the fruit of a secret collaboration between our thought and the divine light that God gives to each of us. In his commentary on the sentences, Bonaventure says this. He says, "No one can learn anything unless God teaches them. This is not said because all knowledge is infused, but because the created light, meaning our intellect, cannot complete its operation without the cooperation of the uncreated light, by which every man is enlightened. Every essence comes from the first essence, meaning God. All life is from the first life. All intelligence is from the first intelligence. All goodness is from the first goodness. For these things were said not because God is the whole universe, but because without Him no created power can act," says St. Bonaventure. So Franciscan thought isn't in line with the innate Platonic view of knowledge, which says that our knowledge comes from ideas that pre-exist in the human mind and are independent from experience. Franciscans don't believe that. They also fully don't embrace Aristotle's idea of abstraction, which says that our knowledge comes only or exclusively from the work of abstraction that our mind does from sensible experience. St. Bonaventure reasons this way. He says that you can affirm that the knowledge of sensible things is acquired by abstraction, yes, but for concepts of spiritual realities and for the idea of God, he would say that's not the case, no. In God, there are what are called the eternal ideas, rationes aeternae in Latin. The eternal ideas of all possible things which pre-exist all things, or rather, they're the exemplary ideas on which all created beings are made. God knows all things not only as they are, but also as they should be. We come into contact with things through sensible experience, and we see things as they present themselves to us, not necessarily as they should be. In spite of that, we manage to raise ourselves up to abstract concepts, to immutable, unchangeable principles of science and morality. So there are objects that we grasp directly without the help of external senses. How does this happen? It happens, says Bonaventure, only because God, with his divine ideas, performs a regulatory and driving action on the human mind. It's like an extrinsic assistance from God, an intellectual illumination in whose light the multiple sensations are gathered and ordered in our mind, orienting it towards the first unchanging principles of science and morality. So God assists us by illuminating our intelligence with his ideas, as it were. And from that assistance, we're able to generate the basic theoretical and practical principles and basic laws of rationality. Those laws that then unify and clarify the ideas that we learn through experiences. So the divine and eternal ideas are eternally in God, and they're perfectly expressed in the Word with a capital W, the Word who is the knowledge that God has of himself. We speak of Jesus as the eternal Word. You can say that it's in the light of the Word of God. It's that light is what makes all human knowledge actually possible. Again, knowledge is acquired through experience and through reasoning. But the light of God, which is present inside of us, makes us able to know God, able to know things in their essences. That light moves us from one truth to another and brings us to a clearer knowledge of God himself, who is eternal truth. So for St. Bonaventure, God's not just the point of arrival of human thought, he's also the point of departure in that sense. With his presence and his influence, God makes our intellect desirous to know and capable of acquiring knowledge. The process of knowing things and acquiring knowledge, therefore, is like an effort to reach God. The 19th century theologian Father Vito Fornari says this. He says, one doesn't understand or think or comprehend except by making an effort to incarnate God, announcing his Christ, he says. Christ is the Word incarnate, the divine wisdom, manifested in human form. In him, therefore, the convergence of divine knowledge and human knowledge comes together perfectly. He is the polarizing center of all the sciences, as Bonaventure would say, the master who enlightens us interiorly. As the uncreated Word, he illuminates our intellect and makes our understanding possible. As the incarnate Word, he's the center of everything, and in him all things come together and become intelligible for us in their true meaning and in their true worth as well. So our intelligence has its capabilities, but without the light of God, we couldn't understand anything, really. That's how Franciscans essentially see it. Let's ask Our Lady for the grace to have our minds and our understanding all the more filled with the light of God, so that we truly can live a beautiful supernatural life. Praised be Jesus and Mary, now and forever.